October is always one of my favourite months in the calendar, especially when a new Jack Reacher book is delivered as promised. What's up guys, welcome back to Unlimited Reads. My name is Chris and today I'll be doing my spoiler-free review of No Plan B by Lee and Andrew Child. This is the 27th book in the Jack Reacher series, which is one of my favourite series of all time. Now before I get into the review itself, I always like to give a little bit of background information. So this book is the third collaboration between Lee and Andrew, and I have to say that it is hands down the best of the three books to date. And when I attended an online book event where both authors were interviewed, they tended to agree that writing this one together was their best effort to date. Now back in 2020 when The Sentinel came out, which was the first collaboration, myself along with every other Jack Reacher fan out there was nervous. We didn't know what to expect. How was Reacher going to change? How was the series going to move forward when Lee decided to retire and eventually hand over the reins to Andrew? There was so much unknown with this, and when I read the book, I have to admit I was disappointed with it. It appeared pretty clumsy and clunky and just wasn't your typical Jack Reacher book, which, you know, even though it was disappointing, I think it's fair to say that the first collaboration was always going to be a difficult one. It was the first time both authors were writing the character, and it was up in the air on how the series was going to go and how this book was going to be received by fans, and a lot of fans were disappointed in the Jack Reacher fan community. But you know, even though I didn't enjoy the book, I still had faith that the series could only get better from here on in. Now when Better Off Dead came out last year, it was a bit of an improvement on The Sentinel. It was a little bit better, not quite at the standard that you would expect as a Jack Reacher fan, but you know, it was a little bit shorter, it was a little bit tighter, and it was a little bit better written, which was good news. It still took a little bit longer to read than usual, but by the end of the book I was, you know, mildly satisfied. It wasn't quite there yet, but I certainly had hopes for the next book, and let me tell you guys that I was not disappointed with No Plan B. Fans out there, Jack Reacher fans, can breathe a sigh of relief with this one. A really good indicator of the quality of the book is how quickly I smashed through it. I did get through it very quickly in a couple of days. It really is that good, and I'm confident now that Andrew is going to do the series justice in the future. So yeah, breathe that sigh of relief, fellow Reacher fans. It is a really, really good book. Alright, so let's get into the review itself, and we'll begin with the plot. So Reacher is in Jerry'sville, Colorado, where he witnesses a horrible accident. From his vantage point, he witnesses a woman getting pushed under a speeding bus where she's killed. And the other viewpoint is told from a random guy from across the street who claims that she ran out in front of the bus in an effort to commit suicide. So who do you believe? Do you believe a random stranger, or do you believe Jack Reacher? And he tells a local detective on what he saw, and the other witness tells a detective what he saw. So there are conflicting views, which the local police department pretty much don't do anything about. Reacher then quickly becomes involved in a sinister plot involving several suspicious deaths in an effort to cover up a conspiracy originating from a prison way down in Winson, Mississippi, nearly 1,300 miles away. And Reacher, along with some help, travels to Mississippi to demand answers. And how do you think that's going to go? So let's look at some standouts in the book. The narrative pace was excellent. There was that old familiarity in the tone that you would expect from a Reacher book that I didn't get from the two previous books, and this one is as close to Lee's style as you can get. Now what I mean by that is all my fellow Reacher fans, as well as myself, need to realise that the series moving forward is never going to be identical to Lee's writing. It's just not going to happen. It will never ever be the same. A writer's voice is as unique as a fingerprint, and you just can't duplicate it. But I have to say, Andrew does come close. For those that haven't read it yet, you're in for a real treat here. Now the violence is great. I found myself giggling out loud at some of the scenes in the book where Andrew did a great job writing how Reacher dishes out punishment to those that deserve it. I really enjoyed that part of the book. There were several subplots that all converged at the end really well, and with what goes on in the prison, it was quite an original idea, and I had a good rapport with a young character called Jed Starmer. He's also on his own quest from LA to Winston, Mississippi as well, and there's a nice little moment between Reacher and this kid, and I thought that was really well done. The best part of the books, and all of the books really, is how, you know, Reacher is all muscle and strength and he's brutal in a fight, but the important thing is that he has a keen mind. He spent 13 years in the 110th MP as an investigator, and he was really good at it, and he just has a natural ability to solve problems and work things out and solve actual mysteries, and he brings everything into the light towards the end, and everyone gets their just desserts. So it is a really good semi-complex plot where there are different subplots that converge all at the end, but it keeps things interesting because you're switching viewpoints here and there, and yeah, I really enjoyed reading Reacher, how he should be written. So hats off to Andrew. He has done a good job with this one, and as I said, he will be great for the series moving forward. And for us Reacher fans, it means there's going to be a lot more Reacher books coming out in the foreseeable future, even though Lee sadly is retiring. But you know, I wish Lee all the best. He has had a really good run with 27 books, and he felt that he just couldn't go on. He felt that he was running out of steam, and it was great that his brother agreed to take up the mantle and carry on the tradition, which I think is going to be great in the future. So there you go, guys. That is my spoiler-free review for No Plan B. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you read it. Please pick it up. You won't be disappointed if you're a die-hard Jack Reacher fan like myself. But before I go, I wanted to share a little bit of news with you that has come to light over the past week or so. We've learnt that the next Jack Reacher book, book number 28, that's going to be out next year, is going to be the last collaboration between Lee and Andrew, and the title reveal has already been given out, and it is called The Secret. What makes this book exciting is it's not your typical Jack Reacher book. It is a prequel novel around the time where Reacher was still in the 110th MP and has to be called in to look into a situation involving a massive conspiracy. And I've got the plot summary here, and I'll read it to you quickly. 1992, 8 respectable, upstanding people have been found dead across the US. These deaths look like accidents and don't appear to be connected to one body. The victim of a fatal fall from a hospital window generates some unexpected attention. That attention comes from the Secretary of Defense, who promptly calls for an interagency task force to investigate. Jack Reacher is assigned as the Army's representative. Reacher may be an exceptional soldier, but sweeping other people's secrets under the carpet isn't part of his skill set. As he races to discover the link between these victims and who killed them, he must navigate around the ulterior motives of his new partners, and all while moving into the sightline of some of the most dangerous people he has ever encountered. His mission is to uncover the truth. The question is, will Reacher bring the bad guys to justice the official way, or his way? And god damn it, he's a righteous son of a bitch. So I am so looking forward to that book. Usually in around April or May, Lee's publisher releases the cover art for the US and the UK covers. And rest assured, on this channel I will be up to date with that, because I always like to stay on the inside track and keep my ear to the ground. And as soon as the cover art becomes available, I'll share that in a video when I get wind of it. So looking forward to what the cover art's going to be like. That's one of the things I always look forward to when a new Reacher book is going to be coming out. But I just love the fact that every year you can rely on a Jack Reacher book coming out. It gives you something to look forward to all year, and when it does come out, you know, I was like a kid at Christmas, and the good people at Dimmicks got them in on time on Tuesday, and raced in there, as you can imagine, just swiped up my copy and started to read it that night, which is always a good feeling to crack open a new Reacher book. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please let me know what you thought of the book if you're a die-hard Reacher fan and you've read it already like myself. Let's compare notes. add a comment below, and I'll always respond to those, and let's have a chat about it. But until next time, guys, see you later.